I have to get a lot more comfortable around this camera, so I'm just going to start making a bunch of little films. I ain't talking to you dogs. Guess you guys will have to get used to my dogs. I have 15 dogs with me, so that's another story. Knives. If you're going to get into prepping and survival, you need to know knives inside and out. You need to also have a firearm. There's some preppers that don't believe in firearms. That's like a firefighter that don't believe in water. If things go south, you're going to need a firearm. You're going to need to know how to use your firearm. There's predators out there. They call them marauders, and they'll come after you. Not only that, good people will come after you. If you haven't prepped and you haven't put food away, and things go south, the grid goes down, or a whole slew of anything can happen. The economy collapses. I'll cover that stuff another time, but when you run out of food and your kids are hungry, you will do whatever it takes to get them food. So will everybody else. So you need to have some firearms. You need to know how to use your firearms, learn some tactics, and learn how to maintain your firearms. It's not that difficult. Firearms aren't that expensive. If you get your firearm, learn how to use the thing, and also learn how to shoot the thing. You, it doesn't make the news very often, but firearms saves people's lives every single day. When someone gets their pilot light blown out though and goes off the deep end and goes on a shooting spree, that makes the news because they have an agenda they're pushing. Anyway, back to knives. I have all kinds of knives. You can get knives. With knives, you get what you pay for, pretty much like everything else. The better knives, you can get good knives starting at 30, 40, 50 bucks. I wouldn't go any less than that. Old timers are good knives. Gerber's good knives. A lot of them are selling out and moving over to China like everybody else. There's no industry left in the United States anymore. So knife making is a good thing to learn too. You can make some of the best knives you get your hands on out of a file, like this knife, like this file here. These flat bastard files. When you get done with them, you can learn how to save them. You can make awesome knives out of files. They're made out of really good steel. Bandsaw blades, another good thing. This knife right here was made out of a file, and you can get it super, super sharp. I can shave with this knife here. Good skinning knives. Anyway, get the high-end knives. It's worth it. Get a good $50, $60 knives. You can get crazy with them. Get bench-made knives, all kinds of knives, and they're really good, but they're expensive. Most knives are made out of the same type of steel. You get up into the upper end, you'll see carbon, a little C on there. I look for those. They don't make them much anymore, but they hold an edge for a long time. Take any knife. If you can't get an edge on it, get your file. Any good file. And they have little contraptions you can buy that get your angles just right. But I've been doing it so long, I just get the angle myself on it. Get your basic, if it's got any nicks or rough spots, get it out on that. And I get these little goodies here, and they get it, take it on down, get it sharper and sharper. Get the edge, the angles just like you want them. Then you can move on. You can also use these. They do the same thing. They get your angles just right. Then I move on to a little diamond stone. They make Arkansas stones, wet stones, oil stones. I like the diamond stones myself because they don't wear out. You get a toothbrush and some warm water and just scrub the metal out of them, and you're good to go. Take this little diamond stone, keep putting your edge on it. You can also use these. And when you're learning to sharpen knives, even when you're good, you should never, ever, ever cut toward yourself. I'm talking from experience here. And then once you get your edge right down there where you want it, you can take it down even further with a piece of leather, strap. It's what the old barbers used to use. I still see them in Wairika there at the barber shop for sharpening their straight razors. Once you get it down with a fine, they also have coarse diamond, medium diamond, and fine diamond, and I like them all. Then after you get it just sharp, then you can take it with your leather and get it even sharper. This is a super fine stone here. It's almost like leather, but not quite as good as leather. That Spider Coast sells some good stuff out of, I think it's Golden, Colorado. Good knives and good stones. I'm getting used to this camera, so I'll get the angles and the dangles and all that good stuff figured out as I start making more and more films. And it takes a long time to get good at it. I sat around campfires and whittled and sharpened, and you can sharpen scissors, you can sharpen hoes, you can sharpen axes. Sharpening tools is a good thing to get to know, especially if you're into prepping or survival. You got to know how to sharpen your knives, and you got to know how to sharpen your hand tools, which preppers need to know. If I see a good knife with a good price, I'll buy it. I have all kinds of knives. I carried knives in Iraq. I carried knives in Gulf War. I carried knives in the paratroopers. I carry knives everywhere I go. Pocket knives. You got to have a knife. Good skinning knives are hard to beat too. I like the old-time skinning knives. They used to make them here in the States out of really good metal, and you can get them just sharp as a razor. This one is 1550T. Good steel. Skinning knives. Okay, make sure I got all that. There we go. Pocket knives. I have all kinds of pocket knives. Little tactical pocket knives. You can go to Bi-Mart. They carry some good knives. Sportsman's Warehouse carries some good knives, good deals. This is a kind of combat knife I carry here. This is a Rex Applegate. I also carry a couple cold steels. This is just a cheap, you can buy these for 20 bucks, little Winchester knives. The Chinese pump them out by the millions. Cheap stainless steel knives. Another skinning knife, old timer. I like the subdued blades as well. I guess that's from spending so many years in the service. I don't like shiny blades. I don't like shiny barrels on weapons. I like everything subdued. And this is one of them. I like the Tano blades. This is one of them fancy ones. I think my brother got it for me. It's got this side, and then you pull out of the handle. It's got a thingamajig here. If you live in New York and California, I don't even think you're allowed to have a slingshot anymore, so half this shit's probably illegal. I got a good deal on these Remingtons. They're called the Remington Fast. I think it's a Remington Sportsman series, and they're called Fast. I also wrote reviews for a place called Opinions for about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years on outdoors gear, and so they'd send me a lot of stuff to review. So I have a lot of outdoor stuff that I can share with you guys. This is one of my favorite knives. It's a good size, not too big, not too small. Got a good grip on it. Speaking of grips, this stuff come out a couple years ago, and I really like it. If you have something that's slick, like this is hard plastic and it's slick on this knife, this stuff wraps around it and it's really grippy. It comes, and it also comes right off, so you can reuse it, wash it, put it back on. I look kind of awkward grabbing stuff. I got my almost lost my arm in Iraq, so my wrist is all fused together, so it doesn't bend at all. this stuff. I'll usually take some tripwire, put underneath of it some fishing hooks, some fishing line, and then wrap this over the top of it, and you have kind of a little survival knife right there. And that's the best grip. You can't buy a grip that good out of that stuff there. All right, and this is one of my favorite new toys here. It's SOG, S-O-G, and they make some pretty good stuff. This is I got it for teaching survival classes. I like this one because you can carry it and it works. It's like a spear. One side sharped all the way down to here, and this side isn't. So this works like a knife. And then you take this bad boy off here, and you can carve a stick. Just put a few threads on any stick and then screw it right into this, and you got a spear, which is pretty damn handy if you get in a pinch. It's also got a set screw right here, so you can tighten it up on your pole and make a spear out of it. SOG makes some quality gear. One of the Smith makes about the best whetstones. They make a huge variety of stones. I like this one because it's got all three stones on it. You just turn it over here. It says right on there, medium coarse. You start out with your coarse side, which is right here. Sharpen. Then move it over to your medium side. Sharpen it, and then finish it off with your fine side. And that's all you need if you're first starting out learning to sharpen a knife. This is called the Smith Tri-Hone. And then later on you can get into using leather and real fine stones and all kinds of stuff. But that's the basic when it comes to sharpening knives. Also, when you're done sharpening your knives, you should also wash them off, depending on what part of the country you're from. I use a little bit of gun oil or a little bit of Vaseline. Any oil will work. Put it on your blade. Just a super fine coat. That protects it from the weather. Knife will last a little longer, especially if it's open stainless steel. You definitely want to put some oil on it. And that is episode 2 of Rogue Ops Survival.